Denver Mayor Michael Hancock talked public safety and violence in his State of the City address today. One day after 5 people were injured when Denver police shot at an armed suspect downtown. There was a word in that speech that caught the attention of our own Jeremy Hohola: accountability. Jeremy discussed that with the mayor and the police chief.
Less than 48 hours before Mayor Hancock's State of the City speech, another shooting in downtown Denver. This time, officers fired at a suspect with a gun, potentially injuring 5 bystanders who were hit with either police bullets or shrapnel. The mayor touched upon public safety in his speech.
Public safety today and tomorrow is about better policing, expertly prepared, well-trained, and accountable law enforcement.
After his speech, I asked Hancock about accountability. What are you doing as mayor to make sure the right people in this case are going to be held accountable?
Well, we're going to let the investigation go first, and I think that's the first responsibility of the leader of the city, director of safety, and the chief of police. These officers were there on the street to keep everyone safe. They were not out there to injure anyone intentionally, and so we'll allow for the investigation. I think that's the first thing I need to do as a leader, is to wait for the investigations to be completed.
Outside the venue, Chief Paul Pazin addressed the press, but said he couldn't say much because of the active investigation. You're the chief of police. What are you going to do to make sure the right people are held accountable in this case?
There's multiple levels of review, to include the Office of the District Attorney's Office, who was on scene and responded, involved in the entire investigation. They play a very critical role here. I also would like to point out that the Office of Independent Monitor was able to be involved right from the get-go on this. Like the mayor in his speech, the chief brought up violent offenders with guns. We talked about accountability a little bit earlier. We talked about ensuring that officers are held accountable for their actions. We certainly need to ensure that violent and repeat offenders are held accountable for their actions as well. For Next, I'm Jeremy Hohola.
Denver police say they expect to release more information on what happened on Wednesday. They did confirm today that the officers involved were wearing body cameras, and those cameras were turned on. This is the second time this summer that a Denver police officer has fired a gun in a crowded area downtown. Last month, an off-duty officer fired at a drive-by shooting suspect near 15th and Larimer. No one was hurt in that incident.